מתקדם. Baruch Hashem. Okay, page 198. Parashat Vayeshev. 198, Parashat Vayeshev. Okay. Okay. With that musical introduction, thank you, Rosa. We will now begin. Okay. Vayeshev Yaakov. Interesting. Right? Aaron, v'chavod.
וישב יעקב בארץ מגורי אביו בארץ כנען. אלה תולדות יעקב יוסף, בן 17 שנה, היה רואה את אחיו בצאן, והוא נער את בני בלעה ואת בני זלפה אנשי אביו, ויבא יוסף את דיבתם הרעה אל אביהם. וישראל אהב את יוסף יותר מכל בניו, כי בן זקונים הוא לו, ועשה לו.
One more. תונת חסים. עוד פסוק אחד, ויראו אחיו.
כי אותו אהב אביהם מכל אחיו, וישנאו אותו, ולא יקלו דברו שלום.
Beautiful. In English. Either of you like to take in English or rather not?
Okay.
Good.
It's from the beginning, yes?
Yes, Jacob settled.
Jacob settled in the land of his father's sojournings, in the land of Canaan.
Just pause 1 second, Rosa. Thank you. So right away, the sages notice Jacob settled in the land of his father's sojournings. It doesn't say Jacob settled in the land of his father's settlings, or Jacob sojourned in the land of his father's sojourning. Jacob settled in the land of his father's sojournings. Sojournings means moving about. So the Gemara, the sages, right away see there's a nuance here that we changed. Right, this is what what we refer to like a blip in the matrix. All of a sudden, there's something over here that we're supposed to be focusing on. Yaakov wanted to settle down. Understandably so. Yaakov's had a long, difficult life. Yaakov had a contentious relationship with Esav, leading to his receiving the brachot, Esav wanting to kill him fleeing to the house of Lavan, being there penniless, working 7 years to marry Rachel, being deceived, marrying Leah, waiting 7 days, marrying Rachel, working another 7 years, strife between Leah and Rachel, then having all the children, and then traveling back, wrestling with the angel, wrestling with encountering Esav. Right? It's enough's enough. It's time for Florida. Right? Right? Enough's enough. Yaakov wanted to Vayeshev. Yaakov wanted to settle. The way the sages put it, Bikesh Yaakov Vayeshev B'shalva. Yaakov wanted to sit down peacefully. Right? Kafatz alav rag zenazuso shel Yosef. But Hashem said, Lo dayan l'tzadikim, is it not enough that which prepare for them the olam haba, the world to come? They also want this world, right? And therefore, kavatz alav rogzo shel Yosef. What's going to fall upon him right now? The whole Yosef incident. But 1 minute. What's so bad with wanting to retire? Play a little more tennis, right? A lesser schedule, right? It's not enough to have olam haba. They also want this world. Well, what's so terrible? What's so terrible? Yaakov wanted to settle down. right? All of a sudden, the whole angry incident of Yosef jumps upon him. Why? What's wrong with settling down? What's wrong with Vayeshev b'shalva? At least for a Yaakov.
Well, first of all, that's where the Canaanite and all the evil is, and all the demons, and I can tell you that's a very, very difficult place to settle.
Wait, this is Eretz Canaan, Dov. This is the land. This has been the land of Israel.
No, not when the Canaanite were here. Sorry.
All right, but it's the best place to be. That's what God told Avram to go. He's not being taken to task for being there. He's returned back to the land of his fathers. He was out with Lavan. He's returned back.
But when they're there, it's not.
Fair enough. I think it's the best we got. It's the best available. Right? It seems that there's something wrong with the mindset, as opposed to simply with wrong location. What's wrong with the mindset? Of the mindset of Bikesh Leishev B'Shalva, wanting to sit, peacefully, relax.
He felt that he didn't fulfill his mission.
Or maybe,
Maybe
a person needs to realize that every day that we're given, there's a mission. Now, certainly a person, can and does slow down at a certain point. But one must be accomplishing. One must be doing. Right? We don't put life on hold. I read a story that really moved me. Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky, Zechet Tzaddik Livracha, was one of the great American Gedolim, great rabbinic leaders. He passed away in the late 1900s, in the previous century. He left what later became the Soviet Union when he was a pretty young boy. When he was in his 80s, he, I think, traveled to the Soviet Union. It was still the Soviet Union then. And he met a cousin of his who had been in yeshiva with him. And Rav Yaakov had with him a Tanakh, a book of Torah and Nevi'im, Ketuvim, a book of scripture. And his cousin looked at that and said, "What's that?" Meaning, in all those decades that he had been in the Soviet Union, cut off from everything, he forgot what a Tanakh was. And this moved Rav Yaakov so. And at that point, there was already a trickle, I believe, of Soviet Jews who were getting out and coming to the United States. He was so moved by this tragedy of what the Soviet Union had done to the Jewish education, to the Jewish people, that he started an organization in his 80s for Russian children, Russian families, when they come to the United States, that there should be an organization that's there to help teach them the Judaism that had been withheld from them for so long. That's what he did in his 80s. In his 80s, he started this organization. And we are really meant to have the sense that, good morning, Ken, that every day that we have is given to us because there's what we can accomplish, there's what we can do. And to recognize that every single day and every moment of Olam Hazeh, as Chazal said, right? It's not enough. They want to sit peacefully in the world to come. They also want to sit peacefully in Olam Hazeh. That every moment of Olam Hazeh, of this world, has the power to, and does affect our eternity. So there always needs to be opportunities that we are taking and we are using. And Yaakov, on his level, wanted to kick back just a bit. But that can't be. So what happens over here? Yosef was 17 years old. Continue, please, Rosa. Verse 2. These are the Chronicles.
These are the Chronicles of Jacob. Joseph, at the age of 17 years, was a shepherd with his
Brothers.
with his brothers by the flock. But he was a youth with the sons of Dizar and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph would bring evil reports about them to their father.
Okay, so let's pause a second. So in English, it's not so apparent. English said he was a shepherd with his brothers by the flock. In Hebrew, it says, Hayaroeh et echav batzon. Roeh et echav batzon could seem like he was shepherding his brothers along with the flock. Now, when I'm shepherding a flock, what am I doing? I'm supervising, I'm watching, I'm seeing what's going on. So to a certain degree, he was shepherding his brothers with the flock. And then what would he do? He would bring evil reports about them to their father. In other words, he saw certain things which he misinterpreted, and he would tell his father his misinterpreted version of the events. And this was all certainly causing a lot of angst between he and his brothers.
How do we know that it's a misinterpretation rather than...
Okay, so that we only see from the sages. And Rashi brings the medrash as follows. Whatever bad he would see, he would tell his fathers. Right? They were eating a limb from a live animal. Number one. Number two, they would treat in a degraded manner the tribes, the brothers who were born from the maidservants. That was Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And lastly, that they were suspect when it came to immorality. Okay? And in fact, what was happening, Rashi doesn't explain this, but probably the English will say certain things here. Yeah, he misinterpreted. Yeah, it doesn't go into in fact what happened. Okay. They explain what was this misinterpretation, right? They ate a limb from a living animal, okay? That even B'nai Noach, right? The Noahide laws doesn't allow for. Actually, they say that this was an interesting halachic situation. Let's say a person slaughters a cow, and there's a calf inside. So that calf is considered to be part and parcel of the mother. And therefore the mother is shechted, the calf is shechted. Even though it might live, right? It's considered shchita. It's considered shechted. It does not need a proper shchita. It's already shechted. So some say that's what he saw. It was such a situation, he saw them eating that and didn't know that it was this called ben pakua. Right? And the immorality wasn't actual immorality, but they would. It wasn't the standard of morality that Yosef thought that they should have. Things like that. But interesting, the Medrash goes on to say, and Yosef, he himself, mida keneged mida, which is divine reciprocity, he was challenged with each of these situations. Right? He was challenged with each of these situations. Right? Now, mida keneged mida is either, right, or he was shown that he was wrong. He was shown that he was being held accountable for having made these interpretations and telling the father. After his sale, what do the brothers do? We'll come to that soon. They sit down and they shecht an animal and have a meal. Right? And that's a time of being a little bit out of sorts. Right? You just sold your brother. We'll see exactly who sold the brother. Not so clear. Right? We'll see soon. It's not so clear the brothers sold Yosef. Right? We'll see the psukim itself. Right? Right? And then he was sold as an eved. Right? So they were speaking about the sons of the maidservants. Right? They're slaves. He was sold as a slave. They acted with immorality. He was tested with immorality with the wife of Potiphar.
This is like the spies, because the spies
Misinterpreted. Okay, Dov. Yeah.
Yeah.
And continue, please. Verse 3. Now Israel.
Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his sons, since he was a child of his old age, and he made him a fine woolen tunic.
Right, he made them that special coat. The brothers saw that the father loved Yosef, and they hated him. They cannot speak to him. And Yosef starts to have his dreams. Right? And he says to his brothers, listen to this dream that I dreamt. What was the first dream? The bundles in the field. Right? And then all of yours, mine stands up in the middle, and all of yours gather around and bow down to my sheaf. Right? The brothers were not all that thrilled with this dream. He had another dream, and he told his brothers, sun, moon, and 11 stars are bowing down to me. He told, right? He told his father and his brothers. The brothers were jealous by the second dream. Doesn't say jealous about the first dream. What's Yosef doing over here? Right? You're having these dreams. Why in the world are you telling your brothers these dreams? Why is he telling his brothers these dreams? This is not going to. Endear him to them.
Who else is he going to tell?
Well, why is he telling anyone at all?
Human nature tell.
Okay, human nature. So it seemed, right, it was a case of misjudgment, again. Right? So on one level, some say that this was prophecy and it needed to be shared. Right? On a more human level, Yosef wanted the brothers to know that this is not, it's not like me pushing myself forward, right? There's a very central role for me to play. In the end, the brothers do surround him, and their sheaves do bow down to his. Because in the end, all the brothers come to Egypt and they need this food from Joseph, who's in charge of distributing all the food, all the produce, all the plenty of Egypt. So he was hoping that they would see this as, now keep in mind, Yosef was the firstborn son of Rachel. And the main wife, the wife for whom Jacob had worked 14 years, was for Rachel. He worked 7 years for Rachel, was given Leah, waited 7 days, married Rachel, and worked another 7 years. So essentially he worked 14 years for Rachel. That was the main, so to speak, wife. And this was the firstborn son from Rachel. See, he was hoping that they would understand that this is my position, this is my destiny. And perhaps even I'll be there to help you. But they took it as the wild imagination, the wild wishes, his dreams, his hopes, his aspirations. And they were not all that happy with it.
And he's a teenager too, so, and he's younger than that.
Yeah, he's 17 years old. Yeah, that's correct.
It didn't work so well.
And they already know that their father loves him best. This is sort of like an in-your-face type of
Yes, yes, this is salt in the wounds. Yes.
That's the guy who comes and tattles on them all the time.
thing. Yeah.
Right.
We see him as a regular. If he was a regular kid today, you probably wouldn't think
He's a rat.
a great kid.
Yeah.
He's a rat.
He thinks he's better than everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He rats everybody up.
This is not setting the stage very well for Yosef. And then what happens? Let's see the father's response. Take that in Hebrew for us, Kathy. Pasuk Yud, Vayesaper, the fourth line from the bottom, third to last word.
Okay. Vayesaper el aviv, ve'el echav, vayigar bo aviv, vayomer lo, ma ha-chalom hazeh asher halamata, habo, navo ani ve'imcha ve'achecha, lehishta chavod lecha arza.
One more.
Vaikanu bo echav ve'aviv shmar et hadavar.
Good. In English, please. Ken, you want to take it? And he related it?
And he related it to his fathers and to his brothers. His father scolded him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamt? Are we to come, I and your mother and your brothers, to bow down to you to the ground?"
And keep in mind, his mother had died already. So the father was trying to diffuse the situation with the brothers and say, obviously, this is nonsense. Because how can I and your mother and brothers bow down to you to the ground? Mother has already died. Rachel died already during childbirth with Binyamin. Right? So obviously this is not true. In fact, the mother was a reference to Bilhah, who ended up raising Yosef after the death of the mother. So his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Rashi takes it a step further. Not just kept it in mind, but he was waiting for it to happen. Whereas he saw this as the destiny for Yosef, and he was hoping that it would happen. However, Yosef did not know what was going on in his father's mind. All Yosef knows is his father scolded him. And then what follows after that? Vayelchu, page 202, the brothers went. They went to graze their flocks, the flocks of their father in Shechem. Vayomer Yisroel el Yosef, and Yisroel said to Yosef, "Halo achecha roim b'Shechem, your brothers are shepherding out in Shechem. L'cha go, v'eshlachacha aleihem. I will send you to them. I want you to see how they're doing." Vayomer lo, and Yosef said back to his father, Hineni. Here I am. Now what is Hineni? Where have we had Hineni before? Right?
Abraham, Hashem talking to Abraham.
Yes, God speaking to Abraham. Right? Hineni is...
Isn't it in the dream also?
Hineni is reporting for duty.
Well, so
Right? I'm not sure where this is going to end up.
Samuel, Moses, all of them said Hineni.
Yeah. But let's see in which context they say Hineni. Take a look at page 100. 100, 101. Keep in place here, but go back about 100 pages to the Akedah. After these matters, God tested Abraham and said to him, Avram, and he said, Hineni, here I am. Take your son, your only son, the one you love, Yitzchak, and go to Eretz Moriah and bring him up as the sacrifice on one of the mountains that I will tell you. And Avram goes there. Turn to page 104. 1 second. I skipped 102. Right?
The angel.
And he went with his brother. Right? Verse 7, Isaac said to his father, Avram, my father. And he said, Hineni, here I am, my son. Right? Right? Hineni keeps coming up over here. Right? Verse 11, the angel of God from the heavens called, I said, Avram. And he said, Hineni, here I am. Right? Right? Hineni is a very, very, I don't say emotional, but climactic point that a person's reaching. Right? Here I am. Ready. I don't know where this is going. Right? And my premonition is not all that rosy over here, but as you wish. Hineni. Here his father says, I'd like to send you to Shechem to check on your brothers. Yosef says, okay, here I am, reporting for duty, right? Shechem does not have a great history. Shechem is a bloody place. The brothers hate him. His father knows the brothers hate him. And now you're sending me out there. Yosef says, Hineni.
It's not Yaakov who's sending him, it's Yisroel.
Okay, it's Yisroel who's sending him, okay?
Correct.
Right? Dov's making an interesting observation. Avram's name was changed to Avraham. And from that point on, we never call him Avram anymore. Sarai was changed to Sarah. From that point on, we never call her Sarai. We call her Sarai. Interesting. I called Rav David Cohn, one of the great poskim of our generation, to ask about someone whose name was Avram, without the hey.
Oh, yeah.
And he wanted to change his name to Avraham. So I called Rav David Cohn to discuss it with him. And he said he doesn't need to change his name.
He's already.
Why? He is Avraham.
Yeah.
I said, no, well, at his bris, right, they named him Avram. He said, well, they made a mistake. His name is actually Avraham. He said, we don't use the name Avram. We only use the name Avraham. Where did this Avram come from? Well, in Europe, I think in Russia, there's no real hey.
Right.
So Avraham becomes Avrom. Avrum.
Avram, right?
Avrum. Avrumala. Right? So people thought
Abraham and Sarah.
Avram and Sarah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
this
what
was in
the Russian anti-Semites were mocking Abraham and Sarah.
Right? So in Russian, you don't really say the ha. It's not Avraham.
No, just Abraham.
Avram.
Even
Yeah.
Abraham.
And therefore, it got confused. And people thought someone's name was Avram. So they named the child or grandchild after their grandfather who was Avram. And they said, oh, his name is Avram. He said, but there is no Jewish name Avraham. Everyone is Avraham. He doesn't need to change his name. His name is Avraham. Yet, Yaakov's name was changed to Yisroel, and yet we find he's called Yaakov, and he's called Yisroel. We switch up and back, up and back, up and back. And the way that some of the commentators approach it is when he is in a state of ascendancy, like a Sar, he's Yisrael. Right? We'll see after the sale of Yosef, he descends down into a somewhat depressed Yaakov. When he's up, when he's down. Yaakov, Yisrael. And we too, right, we fight that battle, keeping ourselves up, right, and not down.
I think like when he's concerned about himself, he's Yaakov. When he's concerned of the mission, he's Yaakov.
Okay. Now, let's read through the psukim here of the sale. Now, just to keep in mind, right? I mean, it's astonishing that the brothers are looking to sell Yosef, to kill Yosef, to sell Yosef, right? These are tzaddikim. These are righteous people, right? And it seems astounding. The way that Seforno, the commentators, approach it is as follows. There is a halachic, there's a Jewish law, halacha, a status of a rodef. A rodef is someone who's trying to kill you. Someone's trying to kill you. What are you justified in doing? Right? Defending yourself, even if it means killing that person.
Like to the rabbin?
The person who killed Rabin had a pretty distorted view.
Okay.
Right? But perhaps in his mind, in his distorted mind,
Right.
he viewed Rabin as putting all the Jews in danger.
Right.
Right? And therefore he viewed Rabin as a rodef.
Right.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, again, I'm not in any way
Yeah, I
agreeing with
understand.
such an assessment.
No.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So the brothers looked at Yosef and looked at their family history and said, interesting. Avram had two children, Yitzchak and Yishmael. Yishmael got booted out. The lineage goes through Yitzchak. Yitzchak had two children, Yaakov and Esav. Yishmael, the older one, got booted out. Yitzchak. Yitzchak had two children, older Esav, younger Yaakov. The older Esav got booted out. Lineage goes through Yaakov. Now Yaakov has 12 children. And here's the younger one slandering us to our father and promoting himself. What is he trying to do? He's trying to turn us into Yishmael, us into Esav, and he become the lone child. He's trying to kill us, if not physically, spiritually. He's trying to have us rejected, cursed by our father. What's the din of a rodef? You've got to stop him. We have to stop him. So what happens? Let's go down to page 202. Verse 19. Vayomru ish el achiv. A man said to his brother, one said to another, Hine bala cholamot halazeh ba. Hey, look who's coming. The dreamer. Verse 19, page 202, 203. It's the dreamer who is coming. V'ata, and now, l'chu v'nahargeo. Let us go and kill him. V'nashlicheo b'achad haborot. We'll throw him into one of the pits. V'amarnu, and we'll say, chaya ra'a achalatu. We'll say a wild animal must have devoured him. V'nireh ma yiyu chalomotav. Now, Rashi was not familiar with the way that we talk. right, with a little bit of sarcasm. We would translate this, and we'll see what will become of his dreams. Let's see what will come of his dreams. Rashi says, well, obviously, right, they can't say what will be of his dreams, right? If they're planning on killing him, they can't, right? So therefore, Rashi says a heavenly voice, brings a medrash, right, that said, you think so? Well, we'll see what will be with his dreams, right? But the way we speak, it's very simple. Let's see what will happen with his dreams. Vayishma Reuven, the oldest brother, who understood that he's responsible. He will be held responsible. Yaakov will say to him, what happened? Vayatzileu miyadam. And he saved him from their hands. Vayomer, he said, Lo nakenu nafesh. We will not take a life. Vayomer aleim Ruvain. That's what Ruvain is thinking. And now he says to them, Al tishpechu dam, page 204, do not spill blood. Hashlichu oto al abor hazeh, throw him into this pit. Asher b'midbar, the wilderness. V'yad al tishlechu bo, but our hands we shall not send. So we should not actively kill him, spill his blood, throw him into a pit, and unspoken words, he'll die there. But we will not have actively spilled his blood. What was he actually thinking? Not saying, but thinking. He planned to come back to that pit, his plan was to save Yosef from their hands, lahashivo el aviv, right? To bring him back to the father. So far we have plan A. What was plan A? What did one brother say to the other one? Kill him. Plan B, what does Ruvain say? Throw him into a pit. Let's hear what happens. 23, Chav Gimel. And it was, Vayikasher ba Yosef lechav, Yosef came to his brothers, Vayavshitu et Yosef v'kutanto. They stripped off that special coat that their father had given him. Et katona pasim asher alav, that katona pasim that was upon him. Vayikachu, and they took him, Vayashlichu to abor, and they threw him into the pit. Right? Plan 2, Ruvain's plan. Va'abor reik, ein bo mayim. The pit was empty, there was no water. Vayeshvu le'echol lechem. And then they sat down to eat bread. Vayisu einehem. They lifted their eyes. Vayiru, and they saw. V'hinei orchat Yishmaelim ba'a mi Gilad. Behold, a whole crew of Yishmaelim were coming from Gilad. Ugmaleim nosim, and their camels were carrying nechot srivalo, different fine fragrances. Holchim, they're going lo rid Mitzrayim, to go down to Egypt. Vayomer Yehuda lachav. Yehuda says to his brothers, plan C. Ma betza, what do we gain? Ki narog et achinu, we kill our brother, v'chizino tam, we cover his blood. L'chu, let's go. V'nim karen li Yishmaelim, plan C. Let's sell him to the Yishmaelim, to the Ishmaelites. V'yadeinu al tihivo, our hand will not be against him. Ki achinu b'sareinu hu. Right? He is our brother, he's our flesh. Vayishma'u echav. And the brothers heard, the brothers listened, the brothers agreed. Now what happens? 28. Let's take the psukim carefully. V'yavru anashim midyanim socharim. Now who passed by? Midianite men, traders, passed by. Vayimshechu v'yalu et Yosef min abor. They drew out, brought up Yosef from the pit. Vayimcheru et Yosef, and they sold Yosef to the Yishmaelim. Ve'esrim kesef. And they brought Yosef down to Mitzrayim. Who pulled Yosef out of the pit? According to the simple reading, who pulled him out of the pit? The Midianites did. That's a simple reading. Rashi learns who pulled him out. The sons of Yaakov pulled him out and sold him to the Yishmaelim, and the Yishmaelim sold him. So the way Rashi is learning is 28. Anashim Midyanim passed by. The brothers pulled Yosef from the pit, sold him to the Yishmaelim. So why mention the Midyanim according to Rashi? Because the Yishmaelim then sold him to the Midyanim. A lot of things are being inserted according to Rashi. And then what happens according to Rashi? Vayeshev Reuven al abor v'nei Yosef abor. Reuven comes back to the pit, and Yosef's not in the pit. What's the problem according to Rashi? According to Rashi, the brothers sold him. What's the problem with this? Where was Reuven? The brothers pulled him out. Reuven said, send him into the pit in order to save him. Now, according to Rashi, the brothers pulled him out of the pit. And now Reuven's coming back, and he's saying, oh no, he's not there. Of course he's not there. We just sold him. Rashi has to explain, oh, Reuven wasn't there. They had a rotation of going back to take care of their father. Reuven, it was his day to go back. Now this is putting a lot into the text. If someone's coming back every day to see the father, then why is Yaakov sending Yosef to check on the brothers? Maybe he was afraid that the brothers coming back weren't giving him an accurate report. So he sent Yosef because Yosef would report. I don't know. But a lot is being inserted over here. Reuven goes back to the brothers and said, the child is not here. And where can I go? Right? Father's going to demand from me. What am I going to do? So they took the coat and they dipped it into goat's blood and they sent it to the father and they said, this we found. Recognize, is this the shirt of your son? And he recognized. That's how Rashi learns. Putting a real lot into the story. Now, why is Rashi doing this? Well, coming up, not this Shabbos, but in a few weeks' time, when Yosef, on page 252, finally reveals his identity to his brothers, what does he say? Page 252, verse 4. Right? I am Yosef, your brother. It is me whom you sold into Egypt. So Yosef says later on, you sold me to Egypt. And later on also, when the brothers are concerned after the death of Yaakov, and they're afraid, right? They're afraid that he might be... Oh, it doesn't say it over there. I'm sorry. Right? So Yosef says, I'm Yosef, the one that you sold to Egypt. So it seems that that's what forced Rashi to have to do some maneuvering with the text. And to say that, so according to Rashi, what happens? Here's the pit. Here, the brothers are having a meal. Right? Here's the pit. Here they're having a meal. They see the Yishmaelim coming. They pull him out. They sell him to the Yishmaelim. So why do we mention the Midyanim? Oh, because then the Yishmaelim sold him to the Midyanim. So again, let's go back to those psukim. It's a little bit awkward. Let's go back again. Right? 26. Judah said to his brothers, what gain will there be if we sell him? Right? Let's go and sell him to the Yishmaelim. Right? And Rashi says, they said they were going to sell him to the Yishmaelim. We have to assume that's what happened. Right? And the brothers agreed. 28. Anashim Midyanim passed by. right? And now, I'm not sure, according to Rashi, why we mentioned that, right? To let us know he was sold many times. And now, Vayimshechu, the brothers pulled Yosef from the pit, as they had agreed to do to Yehuda, and they sold Yosef to the Ishmaelim. Ishmaelim then sold him to the Midyanim, and they brought Yosef down to Mitzrayim. Ruvain is surprised. He wasn't there that day. Right? He had to run back. Crazy time to run back. Right? You convince the brothers to throw him into a pit. You want to save him. Back and forth. That's how Rashi has to learn, because later on Yosef says, you sold me. So clearly they sold him. That's how Rashi learns. Rashbam, who is Rashi's grandson, and Rashbam always sticks very close to the text, to the wording. Sticks very close to the wording. He learns the scenario differently.